moment now. Yes. You know what? It is Monday night. It is another Monday night. And we are back for another edition of our online open mic, our virtual open mic, our stay at home open mic. It has many names, but you know what? We got a whole list of performers, of poets and writers from all around the world and the country who are going to want to share a little bit of their work with you today. This is, like I said, a show of many names. I also call it the Late Late Mic. My name is Richie Marrufo, and I will be your MC for the show. You can find me on Instagram at Deadwall Reveries. But more importantly, follow us, the organization, Barbed Wire Open Mic Series, online. And you can just look up Barbed Wire Open Mic pretty much anywhere that is a social network. Heck, I think we even have a MySpace. We might. Didn't MySpace get nuked? Anyway, sorry, I'm already distracting myself with my thoughts. Anyway, we are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and if you are watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. If you're watching live, that's real. Thank you for waiting. We always have like a little bit 20 to 30-minute window at the beginning of the hour to just gather our poets and performers and just make sure we run any tech checks issues. So we're here now, and if you're watching this as a replay at some point during the week or the year or years ahead, we're glad you're tuning in. This is a slice of life, slice of history. People have, so like any other open mic, if you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up. We have a sign up sheet that we post online pretty much the weekend before these Monday night shows. Again, if you follow us on social media, you can find those things, unless I'm careless and forget to do so. It's happened. But either way, we find our way here. We find our way to Monday night. We have a pretty great list. As always, a lot of regulars, and as often people we haven't seen in a while that drop in, and hopefully a couple new faces as well. But the whole point of this thing is to provide a platform for people to try out their material in front of an audience, whether it be us, everyone in the Zoom, all the performers, and you guys on YouTube. So as audience, you guys have a really important job. We always appreciate it when you guys give feedback. So we do have a live chat going on during the actual live stream. When you participate in that, it's so much fun. I love getting to read comments. And if you guys comment, I will definitely call you guys out. Call you out. That sounds kind of wrong, like messed up. Not in a negative way, but I will give you shout outs throughout the show. And of course, if you do want to join, we do have a link in the description. Not yet, but after, give me a couple performers and we will update the description. Otherwise, like any other open mic, everyone has 5 to 7 minutes to do their thing, a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm going to encourage every performer, even though you guys do this every week, multiple shows, you're probably so tired of it. But maybe, just maybe, this is the show where someone sees you for the first time and you change their world, and then they have no way to connect with you, you know? So it doesn't hurt, leave, if you have a link tree, any link, if you have merchandise, books, a YouTube channel, Instagram, whatever, however you want people to connect with you and support your work, that's always a great thing, because that's also free to share, links and stuff. And you never know, you're making new fans. We do have students tuning in at this point of the semester, so welcome, students. Good to see you here. Anyway, this is the part of the show where I thankfully talk the most, and hopefully I don't talk that much anymore after. I'll just introduce people, might chop it up a bit. Sometimes it does turn into a podcast. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and kick things off on our show. And we're going to kick things off, as we do many times here in El Paso, with someone who's very near and dear, who always comes out and is producing amazing work. She has a new book coming out from Mouthfeel Press. We call her the Poet Laureate of Tumblewords, but maybe one day we could just make her the Poet Laureate of El Paso. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, to our online stage, Robin Schofield. Hey, Robin. How you doing?
Hey, Richie.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I always thought there should be a Poet Laureate of El Paso. I thought Bobby Bird would be perfect for it, but now there's still no Poet Laureate and he's passed. So yeah, somebody should do it. So I'm going to read 4 poems, and we just had a tribute for Donna Snyder, the founder of Tumblewords, who passed away. And so I've refrained from reading my elegy for her until I read it at the tribute. And I want to read it tonight because some of you knew Donna. She tuned in sometimes. Sometimes she During the last year of her life, she was very ill, of course. Okay, here comes my cat. Let's see. This is called cataclysmic variable, elegy for Donna. And a cataclysmic variable is an astronomical term for two stars that are orbiting each other, and one of them is siphoning energy off the other. And I thought, well, Donna was sometimes that star that shone the brightest in the room. And sometimes she was that star that was giving energy to everybody else. No. So let me get the cat off my lap. She won't let me read. So, cataclysmic variable, elegy for Donna. You slipped away in the dark, into the black blizzard no one escapes. When the clouds cleared and the first October morning came, all of our instruments agreed it was a golden and gorgeous day. The sky is full of alliteration now that you are in the arms of your precious Virgin, or perhaps it's red-haired Bridget, enveloped in the mercy you showed to others all your life. No longer are you subject to train schedules and the black cat of your various moods, blue and otherwise. Now you can slide down the rainbow with all the other warrior goddesses. When I look up to see Jupiter, it's your face I see in the firmament. When I peer at the rosy bracts of the bougainvillea, at the tiny white flowers like stars, I see you in your red dress. When I hear the wind howling during tumblewords, it's you still declaiming, announcing, ranting, and spitting your poems at the heavenly open mics. Oh, all of our instruments agree that since you fell off the cliffs of the living, the 1st of October, the month has been rainy, cool, and crisp. And thousands of migrants arrive daily in our city in search of the justice they have been denied, these poorest of the poor. All they find are phony promises, a bus ride to another dead end. They are refugees from drought and famine and climate change. They flee political violence. They have no voice. These most despised and most denied, you most loved. All your life you spoke for the most downtrodden, your voice, your gift. And I want to read a poem that was really important to Donna by Mary Oliver. The Summer Day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Yeah, that was Mary Oliver, terrific poet. Come on, Myra. All right, now I want to read a couple of the sonnets to Orpheus, and it's my translation. I have no idea really if they're any good or not. I know an expert, but I'm a little too shy to send them to him. This is from the first series, Sonnet 5. Erect no headstone. Let the rose bloom each year for his grace. Then Orpheus exists, his metamorphosis in this and this. We should not trouble ourselves about another name. One for all time is Orpheus when he sings. He comes and goes. It's not too much when he comes through the rose bowl sometimes for a couple of days. Oh, how he must wane so that you understand. And even when he himself fears that he wanes, in that his word surpasses our being, he is barely there where you cannot go along. The grit of the lyre does not force his hands, and he complies, in that he transcends. And then this one is from the second series. It's the only one I've translated from the second series. It's number 13. And it's more famously translated as "be ahead of all party." But I chose a different path. Be before all departing, as though it were behind you, like the winter going out just now. For among winters is one so endlessly winter that your overwintering heart barely pulls through. Be dead always in Eurydice, rise and sing, stand and praise, climbing to your purest frequency. Here, with what's winking out, be ruled by entropy, be a ringing glass that shatters as it rings. Be, and know full well the condition of non-being, the endless ground of your inner shiver shimmering, that you may fulfill to the utmost your one moment. To all things spent, and to the dumbstruck and mute, multiplied from nature's fullness to the unsayable sums, number yourself, joyfully added, and zero out the balance. And that's what I have today. I have to say I didn't write any of those in tumble words, which is unusual for me. But do drop by Tumble Words, 1 o'clock Mountain Time on Saturdays. We always get a lot of work done. So
Cool.
I forget who it's going to be next week. Oh, is it
It'll
Mike?
be Mike Sindler.
Mike Sandler.
Oh, perfect.
Hey.
That's great. That's a perfect segue, because guess who's next? But yes, if you have any links as well, Robin, go ahead and share that in the chat. I know people are looking forward to the upcoming book. Let's go ahead and you heard it here. An upcoming feature at Tumblewords or facilitator. It's going to be Michael Zindler, and he is up next. So, Mike, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Welcome back.
Very, very moved.
We've been doing this for like almost exactly 3 years now, and that may be the best opening of any time we've done this. I'm just still very, very moved from that first point. Before we get going, I will, as always, go ahead and put out a word for lighthousewriters.org, which is a fantastic organization that offers all kinds of great things for all kinds of writers. Workshops, classes, events, a lot of which are available online, and some of which are free. And also, if you don't have money, they do offer scholarships, writerships as they call them. So, you know, if there's something you really need to do as a writer, they are more than happy to help you. Oh, while we are still in February, and you know, I like to acknowledge that it's Black History Month. I'm not going to do anything that is specifically about Black History Month today. I'm going to start with a couple of new pieces. This first one is called Beauty Hides. To take away the scar would leave another, less noticeable perhaps, but skin would itch in anguish, missing its past imperfection. Jagged patterns softened as surrounding skin sags, miniature mountain range mapped by dragging fingertip. Why pull down the marker? Why expunge this monument to sorrow's civilization? Why erase the history of the heart? No dull surgical edge could substitute, no layered line of flattened pink could leave less hurt. Let what is be, let memory live on. Beauty hides within the scar. And this next one's real short. It's called Burned Red. You chose to not. What burned red was blue. X marks the spot. What ran clear was foul and clogged. What signaled the end disappeared in fog. And I am going to do a couple little short things because this is President's Day, and well, actually, I'm very, very pleased we have a president we can be proud of, and just seeing him in Kyiv today just really made me feel great. This first one is called Executive Logic. The president, studying the weather, decided that he knew much better than accumulated science, so he put his reliance in those who seek to exploit Earth unfettered, obviously referring to the former guy here and not to our current one. And this also is a trio of limericks also referring to that orange thing. A group of political leaders, while our democracy teeters, choose to lie in the face of the whole human race, such parasitic bottom feeders. A would-be dictator and thief was elected commander-in-chief. He finds nothing more pleasing than committing treason. Let's hope that his tenure is brief. A meeting planned by Russian spies came as no real surprise to the president's son. It seemed like such fun till he was caught and began selling lies. Amazing that they're still getting away with that, isn't it? But I'm not going to be political. Who me? So at this point, I'm going to get a little bit better in the President's Day spirit and do some truly great poems. And the first one is perhaps one of the greatest poems ever written about a president, if not the. And it's our good friend Walt Whitman, who pretty much invented modern poetry's "Oh Captain, My Captain." Oh Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack, the prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. Oh, Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribbon wreath, for you the shores a crowding, for you they call, the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head. It is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip, the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells, but I, with mournful tread, walk the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. And I'm going to read one more, and by another of the greatest American poets, Robert Frost. And this is the poem he recited, that he wrote for and recited at John F. Kennedy's inauguration, and it's called The Gift Outright. The land was ours before we were the land's. She was our land more than 100 years before we were her people. She was ours in Massachusetts and Virginia, but we were England, still colonials, possessing what we still were unpossessed by, possessed by what we now know more possessed. Something we were withholding made us weak until we found out that it was ourselves. We were withholding from our land of living and forthwith found salvation in surrender. Such as we were, we gave ourselves outright. The deed of gift was many deeds of war, to the land vaguely realizing westward, but still unstoried, artless, unenhanced, such as she was, such as she will become. Okay, thank y'all very much.
Alrighty then. Thank you so much, Mike Sindler. A little tip of the cap to you as well, sir. And yeah, that was. I always appreciate your sets, what you bring to the table, what you like, the way you curate a reading, and yeah, appreciate those words too. Yeah, that was a really great intro. For those who aren't aware or missed it, this past last Friday, we did have a tribute here in El Paso for Donna Snyder. Took a little while, but it happened. And if you weren't able to make it, I did take some footage, some video and audio of people performing, and I think we're gonna open it up to people if you want to share some words as well on that tribute video that I put together. We're gonna make a post pretty soon about video submissions. So if you want to leave like 3 to 5 minute video in tribute to Donna, we can add that in a highlight video at some point. That will be coming out. So more info on that when it comes. But if you follow any of us, you'll hear about it. If you want to know more, you can just shoot me a message. But anyway, Thank you, Mike Sindler, for always being such a supporter of not just the Lighthouse writers, but also all these online spaces. And just know, even if we don't say it enough, we're all supporters of you as well. To want to say that, and that's why I call you our lighthouse. Like, even no kidding, you showed up a little later than usual. You're one of the first, and I'm like, man, it doesn't feel right. Mike's not here. Mike's not here. Well, I was saying that. Someone right in the chat who was here verify for me. But I do want to give a shout out to people watching right now on the live stream. Luis Santiago, what's up, homie? Thank you for promoting. I saw you promote the stream the other day, so thanks for sharing that. And Ricky Tinajero, hey, that's a name I have not seen I've not heard of in a while, but it's been a couple years. Come bring your poetry. Come join one of these online mics. It's really not that bad. You can come through and read some work, or join us at one of our live mics if you're still in El Paso. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and keep going. Again, if you're online right now, just participate in the live chat, leave a comment, let us know you're there. I'll show some love. But we're gonna go ahead and get back into the online mic, and we are, thanks to the internet, we're gonna be jumping around from place to place. So yeah, Denver, Mike Sindler. Now we're gonna be going to Pittsburgh. In fact, we're gonna go a 1-2 Pittsburgh punch, as I like to say when we have performers from the same area. And we're gonna kick things off with Vale Larkin, who is leaving a Vale fact. Yo, if you guys leave info for me in the bio notes, I'll read it if I don't forget. But this is a weird Vale fact. They worked as a docent tour guide in a Victorian house museum from age 11 to 18. Also taught bioscience and basic forestry to grade schoolers at a wetlands field station ages 14 to 18. And then there's a personal note there. I don't know if I want to read that out loud for everyone, but yeah, Vale facts. That'd be a cool thing, verified. Anyway, let's go ahead and welcome to the stage another of our awesome regular performers. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage Vale Larkin. What's up?
Hey. Thank you. You ruined it by not reading the note.
Oh yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to. It says, to say that I am indecisive is really to say that my neurons are firing. Shout out to firing neurons. Right? Hey.
Okay. Hi. I'm going to read part of a story today, and I intend to, in honor of Kit reading parts of a story in sequence as a series, I'm going to do that, except it's my story. Sorry. Okay. This doesn't have a title because I wrote it forever ago and forgot to title it. We'll see if I come up with one. Once upon a time, there was a fairy who could change her form in any way she wished. She lived in a glade in the old forest, where all manner of fae folk made their homes in the time before humankind came to that place. This fairy had been in the forest for far longer than any of us can truly understand with our tiny, fragile lives. She had spent her centuries entertaining the creatures of the woodlands and her fellow fae, putting on plays where she acted all the parts, growing extra heads to sing trios with herself, and generally clowning around in whatever shape caught her fancy in the moment. As the fairy herself could attest to, all things change in time. When men first came to the forest, she tried to play with them as she had played with every other conscious being since time out of mind. She tried to entertain them, coming to one traveling party as a bear who could dance to any tune played, an old favorite among her more enthusiastic audiences. But instead of watching the show and maybe lending a hand with a little lute or fife, they rose from their seats around their fire and began shouting and throwing sharpened rocks at her. She came to another group of men in the form of a lovely dryad, singing a song about the forest and all its mysteries, enough to melt the heart of the most hardened boggart. But the men only made crude remarks about the gown of leaves with which she had clothed herself. Sick to death of the whole lot of them, the fairy changed her approach. When the redcaps, rabbits, owls, and spriggans happened into her glade, she gave them her best performances. But when her visitors were men, she played tricks. Greedy men chased rare and brilliantly plumaged birds for miles out of their way. Foolish men followed daydreams into briar patches. She never harmed them any more than a few scratches and some nicked pride, but she enjoyed their discomfiture immensely. The fairy found that men are quite awe-inspired by magic and transformation. For the vast majority of men, this awe translated into a screaming panic, which would overtake them in a terrific rush and then drive them from her part of the forest forever. Since this had the dual effect of protecting the local wildlife and amusing the fairy, she found it a most satisfactory solution to the dilemma. The years passed, and among men, the fairy's glade gained a little notoriety, but not so much as you might think. For few among us, fairy or human, wish to advertise our own comeuppance. One day, a man came alone into her glade. With most men alone, she employed the old, pretend to be a stunningly sensuous wood nymph, and then when they make a grab for you, turn into a badger trick. Something about this man cautioned her that he might not be so easily lured, though. After watching him for a little while, with his haughty stare and look of casual cruelty, she decided that he well deserved a good fright. He did not look like someone who would be easily frightened either, but fairies can sometimes see into the hearts of others, and she ferreted out a secret or two. She let him sleep through the night, and in the morning when he awoke, there she was, making breakfast over the fire. The man took one look at her and stumbled shrieking from his blankets. Not pausing to gather his belongings or even to fetch his horse, the man ran from the glade with his boots in his hands and his shirt tails flying. The fairy thought this was especially funny because all she had done was turn herself into the image of the man's dead mother. Ghosts are one thing, but she was obviously a stolid, steady creature, perfectly capable of cooking or chasing or catching, come to think of it. The man had not treated his mother kindly when she was alive, and he had no desire to meet any revenant of hers. The fairy was, as usual, quite pleased with herself, right up until the moment that the man came back. He may have been a lout and a coward, but he was also, as it turns out, a wizard. When he discovered that he had been taken in by a mischievous fairy, for in those days humans still retained the knowledge of beings like her, he returned with a vengeful heart and a rather nasty spell. One wave of his hand and a cry in a language the fairy had not heard spoken in some time, and the fairy was cursed. She had taken the shape of his mother again when he came storming into the glade, but as the curse settled onto her, a strange thing began to happen. Her right arm suddenly started growing. It stretched and spread, and the fairy quickly realized it was turning into a gorilla's arm. Then she felt scales creeping across the skin of her face, and all along her left side, anemone fronds. All over her body, changes and transformations ran rampant. The wizard turned and left while the fairy was still reeling and trying to figure out exactly what was going on. She quickly realized that she was still herself in every way, but she could not for the life of her control her metamorphic abilities. She tried to turn into a bear and nearly succeeded if it weren't for the goldfish fin she had suddenly sprouted. She transformed herself into an old woman, only to see her skin turn lime green and peel back like flower petals. She changed constantly and without pause, form melting into form, melting into form. As it turns out, fairies who cannot control their transformations are quite as frightening as fairies who can, and some would argue even more so. The men who wandered into her glade now were greeted by a shifting, twisting piece of madness. All pretense was gone from the fairy's arsenal. She was metamorphosis itself, and she had no patience for those too craven to appreciate her. She still entertained her forest friends, because fairies and wild things understand that the world is constantly transforming around us, and so they are not frightened by something so simple as an altered appearance. The men began calling her a demon, though, and a monster. Their stories about her grew darker, and though she had still never harmed one of them, there was a new level of terror in the eyes of those few who would talk about what they had seen in her glade. The fairy didn't particularly mind her newfound reputation, for she had seen that men often refer to anything they don't understand as monstrous, and she felt herself in good company. Still, sometimes there can be too much of a good thing. Men began coming in greater and greater numbers, bringing their axes and arrows. The woodland creatures became much more shy, so that she could be sure of no audience at all if any scent of man lingered in her glade. She began scaring the men off as quickly as possible, thereby cementing her reputation and cutting back on the number of visitors, at least for a little while. But still, there were fewer animals to come to her shows, and the fae too were fading. More and more, the Nixies and Pucks and Brownies. Oh, wait, it's 7 minutes. I just saw the time. Okay, we'll close there. Thank you.
To be continued. Awesome. So, I don't know if you want to share any upcoming events, features, projects, or links.
Yeah, I'll put links in chat. I have a feature coming up on Wednesday for a new mic called Blended City, which sounds cool. I think you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Eventbrite. And as usual, anybody who would like to donate to Words of the Prophets, please feel free. The play is moving along apace. We have a full cast and a director and a lot's going on. So very exciting.
Very exciting indeed. I'll make sure to do 4 of those. Thank you, Bill Larkin, everyone. And I am a big fan of hopefully a new trend of people doing serialized performances, doing in parts. That's pretty fun. Yeah, by the way, you don't have to like time at exactly 7 minutes if you feel like there's a natural ending point a little after or before for future reference. And this is for everyone actually, because yeah, I would do the same thing, have a little timer up here and just like be constantly checking it. I do have a monitor.
I was up until the moment that I started reading again. I'm like, oh crap.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. But looking forward to hearing more. I definitely do welcome prose storytelling. And again, always music, if you guys have any music. But yeah, that's really cool. I'm going to share those links. Shout out again to everyone watching live on YouTube. We're going to stick around in Pittsburgh. And once again, when in his bio and stuff, he just said, no, thank you. And you know what? That's fine, because we're going to let his words do the talking. Sharing some fiction, some short fiction. Let's go ahead and welcome back to the mic, Andrew Pryor. Andrew, in the house. What's up, man? Hey.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I have a couple of short stories I'm going to read, like microfiction. Shouldn't be more than 5 or so minutes for both of them. So combined, not each. But all right, I should start reading. All right, here's the first one. Right after me and the girl with the neck tattoo were done fucking on the motel bed, I tell her about how a wrecking ball crashed into the maternity ward a half hour after I was born. No one was hurt, but they did a long-term study on all the babies in the room, searching for any lingering trauma. So what happened? The girl says, looking up at me. Were they scarred for life? I don't know, I say. I never looked it up. I get up and walk over to the window. I open it a crack. Close that, she says. It's hot as hell in here. Hours later, I wake up to the sound of glass shattering. She's still asleep. I get up, gather my things from the nightstand. Shards of glass litter the shrubbery outside. I poke the leftovers out of the window frame, then slip through it. The bank vault is airtight. I'm in my janitor's uniform, the last person in the building. Davis is waiting outside in the van. Layers upon layers of steel surround me. I unfocus my eyes. I smell mint leaves, boiling, burning. There's a screeching noise in the air, the sound of something being torn out of a body. I can see through the wall, a hole scorched through solid metal. Alarms are ringing. I grab enough for 10 cab rides. Davis runs up to me excited, jumps in the vault and starts stuffing his pockets. I walk past him, start the car, and drive off. Marvin takes out what sounded like a pair of drumsticks, played the drum solo from Tom Sawyer 3 times in a row right over my head, then kicked the sealed oil barrel off the side of the boat and into the ocean. I don't know what I did to piss him off, but I can probably guess. He likes people he can keep his eye on. I also fucked his wife. That probably didn't help. Everything is dark. I scrape my nails against metal, and there's steam in my throat, and I'm looking out at my mother from the center of a red tea kettle, hanging over a campfire in the desert, and there's a younger version of myself peeking out from a canvas tent, poking holes in the side with a fork. My heart is bubbling, mint and eucalyptus. I cry out, and water runs over my hands. The prison therapist is new, a middle-aged man with a mustache. Do you know why you're here? He says. I look back at him. my right eye swollen. I can't stop getting into trouble, I say. A lie. I've never wanted to get into anything in my life. The man smiles, sits down across from me, pulls out a folder. I'm expecting ink blots, butterflies, and rib cages. He turns the first page over. It's a hotel lobby. The writing on the wall is Mandarin. He turns the rest over. I see labs, research facilities, another bank vault, a penthouse, a jail cell. Some rooms I can't tell what they are, no windows and no lights. We've been waiting for someone like you, he says. He walks away from me, closing the door to my cell. First person to forget to prop the door open in 2 months. I walk off into the desert, past the noise and the flailing limbs, until the sirens fade away, until I find a highway, and then I stand there, waiting for someone to take me to where I can crack open the sky. And that's the first story. Second story is shorter. It's like half that length. So without further ado. We were drawing hearts in art class when you asked me what mine looked like. I pointed at the pink paper, crisscrossed it with purple pencil veins, and gave it a grinning, glittery mouth, and said I had something like that. You made a face, and said yours looked like a spaceship, sunrise red with blue racing stripes, flashing yellow lights to let everyone know you were here. I said, your heart's shaped like a heart, not a ship. I held up my fist to show you, closed it tight. You stuck out your tongue and held your hand up, spread your fingers out like spines at the end of a fleshy tail, like swiveling alien antennas, and said, I bet your heart looks like this. You moved away 7 months later, your parents' car pounding over the speed bumps in the school parking lot like a fist pounding a bare chest. All my art supplies were thrown away years ago, but I close my eyes when I go to sleep, spread my fingers out on the bed sheets, and draw a perfect heart in the space between my eyes. A burgundy clump of soil, sprouting stems of Crayola roses and ballpoint violets, veins, ventricles made of sugar glass and iris water, hands extending like blossoms, rhythmic clapping in time to a pulse as unique as a raindrop, blood drips grasping into the dark sea of the spirit, where the parts of us go when they fall asleep for too long. I sleep on my stomach because it pushes my heart up into my ears, where I can't ignore what it's saying. And when I finally sleep, I see lights in the darkness. Your heart as sharp as a flying saucer's edge, slashing through like the silver lining of a scar. Hands long and seeking something like the space a tree leaves after it falls. A tulip's upturned last breath, syncopated silence, and I am too far away to fill the spaces between your fingers. But it feels right that I should at least wave. A chorus of almost forever goodbyes.
Those are killer stories, and I really love the dramatic glasses pull. It's a great way to end it. Is there anything you'd like to end with? Social thing you'd like to promote, anything like that?
I'm such a douche. No, I have. I'll link my podcast in the chat, and also I'm on Facebook if you want to find me there.
All right, cool thing. I didn't mean it in that way either.
No, I just really, I know it's just, I wanted to signal that I was done somehow, but that was very like dramatic and like in a way that I wasn't intending.
It was cool. We'll do a poll. No, I'm not gonna mess with polls. No, that was awesome. Andrew Pryor, everyone go check him out. We've promoted the podcast as well in the past. If you leave the link, I'll share that on the YouTube chat and live stream. Yes, I agree with Nico Kim. What's up, Nico? Soothing ass reading voice. I agree. Gotta check out his story podcast. All right, we're gonna keep going. List is looking good, and I'm seeing some new names added to the list, so I gotta make sure I don't forget anyone. I'll be updating the list and letting you guys know. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and go to South Euclid, Ohio, and welcome back a returning poet. Let's go ahead and welcome Doc Janning back on the mic. What's up, Doc? I don't mean that in the Bugs Bunny way. I'm just saying hi. Didn't mean it like that. And you're muted. I think, or Okay, yeah, there's that too. Okay, we're gonna come back to him. Right now, he's heavily meditating on the cosmos. So we'll come back to him. I know I'm trying not to do the Bugs Bunny thing. Um, okay, somebody send him a message. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll keep going. We'll come back. We're gonna come back. So we're gonna stick around East Coast. We are gonna go to Pennsylvania. Our next performer runs his own open mic every second and fourth Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. He also hosts a poetry podcast called The Poetic Robin Hood, with a new episode the first Monday of every month. So let's go ahead and bring up to the mic Christopher Moore. Christopher, what's up, man? Good to see you again. Hey.
Hey, I think I was here over the summer. I think you had my friend Nick P host one time, like guest host. Yeah. So I'll read one or two that I have. I'm currently working on a new book, so I have new poems. This is called North of Wonderland. There is no path back to the rabbit hole. Strange characters are useless too. They are only there to confuse you, not help you out or find your way out. Bring lights with you on this journey because it will only get darker from here. You took too long in the tea party of your imagination listening to the mad and insane. One direction will open your eyes, the other will lead you towards ignorance. What is north of Wonderland? Do you dare to find out? And another one I have, this one's called Pennsylvania Sunrise. Red breaks through the morning darkness as dew dries up everywhere the night put it. Headlights on rural 611 get turned off while driving, and deer might be lurking everywhere. The scent of various caffeine is in abundance, awakening a slumbering backwoods area, dreading to be awoken. Those in lockstep hate the sun's rays when they venture on their daily tarmac. Another sunrise is upon a humanity that always dreams of someplace better. Thank you. And I'll put my open mic info and the podcast info in the chat.
Perfect. That's some really cool cover art that you have there for the podcast. Rob from the host
Yeah.
Give the Poets. What is that concept there?
Well, first the cover art. A poet friend of mine, Shane Maynor, she did the cover art, commissioned it for me. And Rob from the host Give to the Poets. I hate to really say what that means because then I piss people off. I see through running my own open mic and going to other open mics, I meet a lot of great poets, and I talk to these great poets, and hardly anyone gives them a chance to have be an open, a feature. And I go to other features, and I'm like, where the F did they find this feature? They suck, or they're like, okay, you feature so many times. You featured in February, in July, in October, and I'm like, that's wrong. So that's where Rob from the host Give to the Poets comes from.
I like here like I'm not gonna say it. I shouldn't, but I'm gonna say it anyway. No, that's cool. Yeah, please definitely share those links. Glad you can make it. Definitely, I love your reading voice too, man.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks for coming through. And I do remember, shout out to Nick Paleologos, by the way. He was here last week and read a little bit.
Him and I, we go the opposite weeks on The Word is Right. His is every first and third. I'm second and fourth on Wednesdays.
Oh, right on, man. You guys got Wednesdays locked up, huh? Man, I love how there's like just this extended Zoo universe, poets and writers and stuff, and that's great. So if you guys are watching on YouTube right now, you guys have plenty of places to go perform your work. Try them out. It's all you can do. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue this show. Check out, again, as soon as I have those links, which are there, I'll go ahead and I'll forward those to everyone on YouTube. If you want to check those out, both the podcast and open mic. But for now, we're going to go ahead and go back to South Euclid, Ohio. We got Doc. Hey, what's up, man? I love your background. That's very colorful. And,
Thank you.
enigmatic.
That's the Butterfly Nebula. I am I believe it's 3.2 million light years from home.
Nice. Facts.
This first one is titled Amamancy of Time. Amamancy is a neologism, a combination of the Latin amo, meaning love, and the word ending mancy, meaning conjuration thereof. Amamancy of time. You are a beautiful island. From the sensuous curves of your shores to your soft hills and secluded vales, and the peaks of your gentle mountains. Your ambiance speaks the ocean of love, which surrounds and imbues you with all its passion and delight. Your hidden gardens and deep, limpid pools tempt and inspire exploration and the rapture of discovery. You are rich beyond dreams with all the sensory treasures of life, and you exist in the amamancy of time and the nakedness of emotion in the forever, beyond forever. Moments. My love for you, naked, exposed, exists in infinite moments. Rhodamel moments, sweet with honey and imbued with roses. Fragrant moments of lilacs, of gardenias, of honeysuckle. Moments of a roseate dawn, of a gathering gloaming, of a light-dappled chiaroscuro. Moments of our lips entwining, of our tongues savoring, of our arms about each other. Moments of joy, of passion, of rapture. Moments of an eternal dance, of weaving together, of becoming one. And I will finish with something for Black History Month. It is a poem I composed for Juneteenth last year, but I think it's still appropriate. It is titled, But Not All Were Yet Free. Traveling through unfamiliar landscapes, following the drinking gourd in infinite caverns of night, reaching for dreams in endless blue sky of day, once the way to freedom. Then came to be the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. But not all were yet free. The Civil War raged on until Appomattox, April 19th, 1865. But not all were yet free. It was another 2 months, June 19th, 1865, in Galveston, and General Order Number 3. But not all were yet free. Jim Crow and unequal laws, voting rights infringement, the KKK and Tulsa, but not all were yet free. The Civil Rights Movement, Loving versus Virginia, the Civil Rights Act, but not all were yet free. Unequal sentencing, forced labor in prisons, lynchings, and more, but not all were yet free. political lies, and the big lie, redlining and erosion of values in the name of greed and power, but not all were yet free. Unrelenting attitudes, bigotry, racism, white supremacy, institutional superiority, but not all were yet free. History poorly taught or not taught at all, especially of America's warts, but not all were yet free. Superficial differences taught as rationale, and others equally banal, and not all are yet truly free. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Doc. I like how the background actually looks like your own butterfly wings right there, flying off into space there. Do you have anything you'd like to promote right now?
There's nothing special I'm going to promote, but it appears that a poem I wrote as song lyrics is going to actually be recorded as a song and put out later this year. So with me as the lead singer, no less.
I hope it's punk rock. Is it punk rock?
No, it is not. It's a song in the style of Leonard Cohen.
Okay, cool. I created my own headcanon, of course, but yeah, we'll be ready on the lookout for that when it's available. Thank you, Doc.
Lenny could be kind of punk at times.
There you go. Yeah, it's definitely attitude, right, and content. Hell yeah, approach. I don't know what I'm saying, but we'll be on the lookout for that. We're gonna go ahead. All right, we're gonna go ahead and keep going. Let me see. Where are we going? I'm adjusting the list as we go along. Right now, we're gonna go to somewhere under the rainbow, where assuredly we may find gold. That's right. Next up, we have Generalissimo Brian Franco. What's going on? Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing? I think that Robin inspired me to read a poem that I wrote for Donna for her birthday a couple years back. So that's the first poem, and then my second poem is going to be by a very popular poet we all love. So the first poem is my Donna birthday poem. I think that's actually what I so it's called the penultimate riverboat ride. When Cerberus decided 3 heads was too many, he stowed away on Charon's boat as it returned to the land of the living. Charon always listened to sympathy for the devil on a loop, singing along so loud he was oblivious to any noise, like the frightened yelp of the 3-headed dog as he jumped overboard into the river Styx. When the dog walked ashore, he had only 1 head and a desire to have his tushy scratched and belly rubbed. He had been texting with his college roommate Sphinx, who lived in the soul of an adopted dog in the home of a legendary El Paso poetess, who let her dogs have free rein on the leather couch and was a generous belly rubber and tushy scratcher. Sphinx sent Cerberus a text. She's bringing another dog into our family. Wouldn't it be awesome if you never had to be on guard again? We'd be brothers living the life of Riley together. This Donna woman is the mama I never had and more. I feel normal. She knows when I need her love and accepts my doggy cuddles and kisses. She is a goddess in human form, and all who enter our family have mythical souls. That is my Donna birthday poem. And today at Cafe Generalissimo, Eddie, where is this? Oh, here it is. Read his wonderful poem that he does in that really high-pitched voice, and that always makes me laugh and leaves me feeling happy. So this is called They Have Landed. I'm going to do it in a different voice. They have landed by Mr. Eduardo Poetastico. To the American people, the aliens have landed. They look advanced and evil. OMG. They look heavy-handed. They quickly came down. UFOs covering the skies. They're not making any sounds. OMG. The darkness in their eyes. They look skinny and frail. They want to meet our leader. I'd say more, but I'm eating Taco Bell. OMG. Did I pay the meter? They seem to be doing the moonwalk. They have some stellar moves. OMG, they can understand and talk. I hope our bond can improve. It appears a guy is moving towards them. Oh my, he has a Confederate flag. OMG, he looks American and dim. Let us pray he doesn't brag. He said, we don't like your kind here. OMG, the gray alien has readied his blaster. OMG, man, cover your rear. It looks like a huge disaster. I know what you are thinking. I'm not doing a fucking thing. My patience is shrinking. The gray alien's temper is holding on by a string. The gray alien is blasting into the sky. Dim Jim did run and hide. I felt like I almost died. What a crazy, unbelievable ride. Out of the sky came Godzilla, now breathing and stomping about. Why could it be Magilla the gorilla? Oh no, everybody screams and shouts. Everybody is panicking. Oh boy, what can go wrong? Oh no, King Kong, aka the Monkey King. He looks cranky and strong. There seems to be a man with a billboard. It reads Kong versus Godzilla, place your bets. OMG, people are coming in herds. Hey, on Kong. Everything here, including my vest. This is something unrelated, but send cash to my Cash App. My life is in danger just like you. Come on, show some love where it's at. I want to order something from Jamba Juice. I know I should be scared, but who doesn't want to get rich? Screw the gecko, go Kong. Make the giant gecko your bitch. Oh yeah, here comes the gong. Godzilla rushes to Kong. God, why didn't I buy popcorn? Come on, you big ape. Don't take too long. Siri, I said how to make popcorn, not porn. King Kong swings Godzilla around literally by his scaly tail. It's like one big freakish merry-go-round in a straight detail. Kong aims for the electric rails. Godzilla is getting angry. OMG, smoke is coming from its mouth. OMG, here comes atomic bomb, frankly. He looks like me eating a plate of Brussels sprouts. Godzilla is breathing a huge beam, missing King Kong by a hair. I knew it was just steam. Godzilla, that's cheating and unfair. Wait, what are they staring at? Billboards for donuts and burritos. Don't stand there and look at that. They stopped fighting. OMG, I'm going to explode. OMG, Godzilla is giving me the finger. I need a giant robot ASAP. You big green cold-blooded stinger. I can't believe I saw that. Now they're holding hands. They're probably getting something to eat. I don't really understand what happened to the brawl and heat. Don't go away. I bet everything on you. I pray this day. I hope my credit doesn't go higher than the moon. What happened to the gray aliens? A sign says, Earthling, we owe you. OMG, so much chaos has transcended. What are we possibly going to do? Thank you very much. Thank you, Ed Poetastic, for writing that beautiful, funny, wonderful piece. What a
Magnifico, mi hermano. Woo!
I'm just going to put in the chat what's going on. And this Saturday, starting at, is it 4 p.m. Eastern? I am featuring for Amy Hoskins at Gestalt Open Mic out of Nashville. And I'll put all the information on that in my next, and I'm also doing Tumble Words on the 25th of March. So thank you very much.
Right on. Thank you very much. Yeah. And that's a great tribute to that Ed Poetastic classic. Yeah, it's really funny here. Like, different interpretations and readings of other people's work, and we're kind of mentioning that in the chat here on Zoom. But hey, what's up, YouTube world? Once again, we are live. It is our online open mic, and happy to be here. That's Generalissimo. I'll share any links that you share. Make sure to forward. And yeah, man, is there anything you want to promote really quick before we move on?
Oh man, I just promoted it, so I'm going to put
You just did?
everything.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was kind of getting a treat, and I missed a little part of that.
Hey, treats are called self-care, so go for your treat.
Yes, I self-care a lot. Anyway, I'm distracting myself again. One of the things that I do want to mention to the YouTube audience is when people don't have their camera on, all you see is their name. But on Zoom, we have these fantastic pictures and images. I meant to mention that when Christopher was up there and we were talking about his art. The reason I was talking about it because we saw his art, but you just saw the name. Same with Generalissimo. We got to see his book cover, and you can order that online. I'll put some links so you can access that as well, or how to get a copy of that. But I really want to mention that note because we're seeing some cool art here, and you guys on YouTube aren't. Maybe that's a reason to like hang out in the Zoom room, you know? Which you're more than welcome to. If you're just tuning in or watching right now, we may have a little bit of room left. We're still adding people. Propaganda Poet, we got you on there, right? We're going to find a spot for you. It's been a busy night, but we're going to go ahead and keep going. In fact, we are going into the beep boop Bay Area, where our next performer has got poems. At least that's what she claims. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage Finn Bell.
I love how you read everything. It's great when you read it. Yeah. Thanks so much, Richie. It's good to be here, and it's good to have my camera on again. I'm not having hives and all sorts of junk. So the other week, I attended a writing workshop by poet Truth Thomas, who originated the skinny poem form. I had a few misses because I misunderstood the form. So the form is 11 lines. The first and 11th line are the same. The second, 6th, and 10th line are identical. And then each other line in between is one word. So here are the misses. There's a few of them. And then I finally got it right. So the first one is called Carrier. Will you listen to the truth now? Seeing the words line the air above crowds packed too tightly, but still rumors find gaps to slip through between bodies, fester and enter mouths. Seeing the disease of gossiping metastasize becomes contagious. To keep to oneself must be dispersed. There is no stopping now. We will be the viral outbreak infecting our minds before we become the inoculation. Seeing. Now, will you listen to the truth? And Deanne, the next one is soul meets soul when feeling a beloved's energy. Enfold your energy, you cradle their desire, feeling emotions' temperature parallel, pumping the other's heart while they fill your lungs with air, feeling when soul meets soul. This one is called This Space. First, the incorrect form, and then the correct form. Holding pattern in silence, holding on to hope, holding on to air in absentia of body. Mind crowds poison thoughts in holding pattern. Holding pattern in silence, holding air in absence of body. In holding pattern in this obsessive cycle, in longing addiction sets in, holding pattern. Okay, so a few new haiku, I guess, or tanka, or whatever these things are. Return. This time promise me, oh no, I'm sorry, these are one sentence poems. A few one sentence poems. This time promise me there is no letting go lest we forget the way back. Breath. Find me here, how I meet you between unhurried syllables of words I intend to lace into the sweet cove of air suspended between my mouth and your waiting ear. And then finally, I guess these are the haikus, maybe, who knows? Oh, I'm sorry. I have a few more. I'm just a mess today. Okay, we're gonna do this correctly. Okay, 2 haikus. Sunflower fluff, perfectly same and different, points beak to the left. Sunflower fluff, perfectly same and different, points beaks to the left. The face in the glass shifts to the left to see you, walk away from me. The face in the glass shifts to the left to see you, walk away from me. And then 2 more tinier pieces, and then I promise I will be out of your hair. Okay, this is called To My Younger Self. You waited for me. I long for you. Did we meet somewhere in the middle to chase and then run alongside our dreams? Life did not pan out like they do in the fairy tales. Prince Charming hung back, derisive, faced with our happy prattle of happily ever after. They were charmed. They were pulled into us and kissed without permission. We didn't say anything at the time. We are not trying to get them to save us anymore. We never wanted to slay the noble dragon spirit or tame her. She rolls in lavender fields and beckons, lay down your shield, warrior. Come play, weary child, after my own heart. And last piece, we were asked to do an I am poem the other day. I am unbound hair on Sundays. I am breath catching in my throat and then releasing. I'm spreading myself as a net to catch everyone, keep them safe. I'm trying not to lose myself. I'm finding my tongue is armored, but finding my memory gives way. I am pain and raging at the world lopsided and raging more at myself for trusting. But I am also forgiveness. I'm also blessed grace because the alternative cannot be given voice. I am little girl innocence lost too soon. I am different in each moment or fear I will stay rooted to this spot. I am learning all things anew as I go along. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. I left a little comment there. Snaps incessantly into the night. Also, that's like it was a superset. I don't know if you've shared so many of that, but that was amazing. I know I forgot to promote. You have Babini and the Jets open mic coming up. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? And then just if you have anything else you want to promote?
Yes, sir. Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific. My usual Thursday night online open mic with vocabulary is guest hosted by Deadpan Lizzie, Elizabeth Strauss, and it is jukebox poetry to the tunes of Elton John. So bring your music, your stories, and your poems that are inspired by lyrics of Elton John songs. And next week on Tuesday, we have karaoke night, and it's the theme is 23. Don't ask me why. It just is.
That's a great explanation. Don't ask me why. That's just the way it is. Like the movie. Okay, I'm not asking. I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, so Beanie and the Jets. It sounds awesome. Whether we're dealing with jets or sharks, life's a gamble. And when I think of gambling, my mind goes straight to Las Vegas. That was a cheesy transition. Next up, we're going to go to Las Vegas and visit the poet Raja, who's going to share a little bit of poetry with us. How you doing, man? What's up?
Good. I was just about to like compliment that transition. I was gonna say that was smooth. So you know, give yourself credit. It's good to be here back to back weeks. I don't think I've done that in a minute. Yeah. I only have like a few. I don't think I'll take the full 5 or 7. So I was asked to write an introductory poem the other day for like a new workshop I'm participating in. And this is what I came up with. I do not belong here. No, really, me being here is a mistake. It's just that I have these words inside of me that demand to be let out in these very eloquent ways. So I write full stanzas that these words might eventually relent. Still, please do not look at me as if this is who I am, as my genuine self only believes in the truth of numbers. It is in data that I trust, as it alone has never deceived me. It is in learning math that I have found not just my path, but a way to understand myself. That is why I choose a man that values facts over arts, all while knowing these words are still here and that they will never stop demanding to be let out. And then let's see. February 19. I don't think I had written this one I don't think I read this one last week. If I did, I really apologize. I do not remember the first time that I found myself marveling at a flame. All I recall is the intense desire I had to watch it grow. But the beauty of the dancing flame is not offset by the destruction it creates, but by the fact that fire is always in a battle to survive. There was something exciting about watching that flame fight the air, first for its right to exist, then to consume everything else. That is the hunger of fire, what drives a flame to devour all. It is a hunger that only comes from desperation. I have felt that desire to live in the pop and crackle of a single ember as it seeks to be set ablaze and become its own flame. See the dance of the flame not as something mystical, but rather as the final duel as it clings to life. But every fire is a sure death, though it summons one last brilliant burn. That display is undone by the audible final gasps. This is the futility of fire, to destroy for the sake of survival, while knowing that it will never survive. Thank you for the encouragement, Kit. So I wrote this one. That one was fire solid, Richie. Appreciate that. Recently, the only thing you need to know about this is Skanda is one of the names for the Hindu god of war. I sit at the table of Skanda at a feast for his truest followers. This is what I have become as a result of this war between us. My hands so stained with blood that I fear they will forever be unclean. My dreams so terrorized by those I have killed that I am unwilling to go to sleep. My spirit so driven by destruction that even my army lusts to cause ruin. I took up arms against you because you meant me harm. I raised my weapon at you in defense of one pointed at me. I met you on the field of battle when the offer of peace was rejected. But the violence of war has seized my heart, and the smell of death has intoxicated me. Now my righteousness has turned to fury as I have chosen to be the aggressor. I seek satisfaction for what you did. Merely driving you out is no longer enough. The desire for retribution has consumed me as I have truly become a man of war. I will raise this place to the ground that you will find no respite. I will take your enemies from you and leave you without an ally. I will remove you from this land that this war will finally end. That's what I got.
Sorry, man. I was like mid-chew. How can people support and follow you online, man? That was a great set.
That was intense. Thank you. The poet _Raja on Instagram. I'm gonna be like actually posting on there beginning in March again. Like thinking about a couple, actually just thinking about a couple projects today. Gonna be trying to get my Patreon back, kind of like moving and stuff like that. I like started it and then just kind of dipped. So I'll be getting that back up here pretty soon. Probably starting next week. I'll actually like post my link tree once I get that cleaned up a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate all the support. And, you know, always happy to be here.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We're happy you're here, and like you said, it's been a while since you've done back-to-back performances. So we are here every Monday. If you can make it next, that's perfect. If you can't, that's also understood. You know, so we'll be back as long as we are needed. As long as you guys want a space, need a space, we are here. If you're watching on YouTube, you have. If you didn't
Well,
want
you
to do
know-
it this week, you can do it next week. Yo, what's up?
Well, you know, I got to see if you can top that smooth transition. You know, I got to see if you can top that smooth transition next week.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I always. Sometimes it's just the best are the ones I don't think about. But I think we've all experienced that before. We're actually gonna. Oh, by the way, yes. Speaking of YouTube, I wanted to give a shout out to Samuel Wilson, who's tuning in. Always leaves. He always really appreciates you guys' sets and leaves nice comments. So thank you for that. And also his sister Amanda Wilson, awesome poet. She's doing a lot of motivational stuff, and I think I saw she's coming up with a book. I want to verify that first before I say anything. But yeah, shout out to Samuel. Thanks for tuning in, man. We're going to come to El Paso now for our online mic, coming back to El Paso. And I always try and I'm trying not to talk people up too much, but he's been really important to our scene, to the community scene in a lot of many different ways. And, you know, when we had our Donna tribute on Friday, it's just also important to understand that, you know, the role he's had taking on Tumble Wars and what that means to keep carrying it on. So I just want to show that respect his way and keep promoting, and so we can keep growing as a literary community, right, outside of academia, community poetry events and readings. So you know him as Mr. Monday Night, and he's rocking the cool ass retro buzzard sweater, I think. Yeah, let's go ahead and welcome to the stage Kit Ren, Mr. Monday Night. Hey.
Hey, Richie, you are right. El Paso Buzzards. Top 2 logo of all time, and it ain't number 2. That's all I'm saying. I don't even like hockey, but I needed this hoodie. So now I have it. Because I just take what I want. Okay. Speaking of things I want, I sent off a little packet to a dream publication of mine. I sent a few things to Electric Lit. So light a prayer card to St. Lucy, who looks over us all. And these are the 3 ones I sent to them. This one is called The Reformation. The comedians have renounced raunch and transphobia and hatred in general. They have seen their folly, they tell me. They credit me for their Damascene moment. They line up and say sorry and thank you as if it is all one word, a chant for newly shaved Hare Krishnas. They have set up this event, the first of its kind post-pandemic, to prove their sincerity to me. One approaches the mic, and then another. They are all reading aloud from the same worn copy of Capitalism and Schizophrenia by Giles Deleuze. They pass the one copy between themselves as they all take their turn, going for exactly 7 minutes each. It has a used tag from a college bookstore, University of Vermont. Charlie the Catamount is just barely smiling at me from the crinkled sticker on the spine. Their faces as they perform are intense, and as the others sit and watch, they are rapt. One is taking notes. My companion and I retreat to the patio, and by his leave, I smoked my first cigarette in 4 years. One by one, the comedians follow me out, eager and pleading like seminary students. Is this better? Are we better now, Kit? Have we made up for our sins and our wayward lives? The truth is, I don't know. The truth is, I thought I would always have to fight the comedians for saying one awful thing or another. I viewed it as a responsibility that I had to the scene. And the truth is, I have a middle management bred paranoia about what it means when a responsibility gets taken away. The truth is, I liked to fight against the comedians so much. I never gave a thought to what victory would look like. The truth is, I confess to the one with the notebook, I haven't read very much theory. Yeah. That's my favorite. You can have your own favorite, but that's mine. But I also sent him 2 others just to play the numbers game. So I sent him this, The Inverse Muse, an Alternative Theory of Inspiration. The poet begins since poems were made by invoking the muses. Well, that's fine. That's nice. But the muses are busy. They have full voicemails and calendars. And sometimes even when they deign to speak with you directly, they are intimidating and unclear. Thunder is both music and instruction, but is usually just taken as a noise. Even the friendly minor gods are still gods, inscrutable and doing things mostly for their own satisfaction. We must turn our eyes to the ground. We must turn to our inverse muse. On stage, there is someone trying their best to give the weather report in their head, but always later wrong, just like the real weatherman. Always missing the rain cloud and leaving everyone drenched. You saw the rain clouds. You're baffled by this person on stage who was 10% of the way there and then changed their mind. You have found your inverse muse. You will see in them an accountant's thorough ledger of the things you never want to do or represent. You will learn what you value by its apparent lack. When you reach instinctively to correct your inverse muse's posture, you will feel your own backbone strengthen and oddly grow. Now, in this spirit of negation, I must quickly name 2 things the inverse muse is not. The inverse muse is not a pupil for you to instruct. This is not my fair lady. For God's sake, don't tell them. Can't take you anywhere. They are perfectly happy to be who they are. You must learn from them without changing them. Nor is the inverse muse a nemesis, a stalking horse that the more spiteful among us need to race against. You must never lower yourself by hating your inverse muse or rejoicing in what you see as their struggles. After all, I believe that gallant loved Goofus like a brother and would have challenged us all in the continental style, pistols at dawn, if he knew why we were all laughing. And the last one of mine before a brief cover poem. This one is called The Conventions of the Genre. I thank God for the prose poem. I thank God for a back door into the heritage of poetry. The prose poem is a scholarship program for the musically indifferent, rhythmically challenged, formally indolent. I am equally thankful for its identical cousin, flash fiction. I switch which one I mean based on who I'm talking to, glad handing and issuing contradicting promises like a city councilman. I don't have to babysit characters to an end like a harried novelist. I owe them nothing. I introduce them and move on, like the host of a huge party. I forage without taking a plate. I rhyme, but only when I feel like it. I drink and the wine becomes blood in my stomach. I trip and the trip becomes a metaphor. I accidentally cut my palm and the bandage thanks me for my honesty and vulnerability. Everyone in the ballroom is dancing with a different scrap of clothing they all take to be me. They can't all be right, but they're dancing. No one can fact check a dancer.
Yeah.
And real quick cover poem. It's a very short one. Just Those Winter Sundays by Robert Hayden. Sundays too, my father got up early and put his clothes on in the blue-black cold. Then with cracked hands that ached from labor in the weekday weather made blanked fires blaze. No one ever thanked him. I'd wake and hear the cold splintering, breaking. When the rooms were warm, he'd call, and slowly I would rise and dress, fearing the chronic angers of that house, speaking indifferently to him, who had driven out the cold and polished my good shoes as well. What did I know? What did I know of love's austere and lonely offices?
Great choice.
Yeah, that one's, I don't want to go into what it means to me, but it's personally meaningful to me. But it's time to plug my socials. Instagram at Kit Runaway, Twitter at Kit Talk Sports, because I am in the center of a very lonely Venn diagram of poetry and sports. Coffee.com/KitRen, a bunch of long essays about American football, further proving my point. You can find me on Facebook easy enough, and the Tumblewords Project. Next week, as has already been mentioned, Michael Sindler will be leading the group, and it'll be a fun time in March, shaping up real well with people you've already seen tonight, like Brian Franco and Finn Bell, and also some local titans like Monica Gomez and Carlos Fidel Espinosa. More on that. For more on that, look for Tumblewords Project on Facebook. And we'll
Finn Bell,
continue
really?
along.
Really? Finn
Really?
Bell? Oh my lord. And
Very
Monica
sick.
Gomez,
Yes.
too? I love Monica.
Yep.
That's going to be a great
Yeah,
month.
Monica's
Is
great.
this a virtual thing or is this a in-person thing?
It's over Zoom.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
It's virtual. Yeah,
You are very much welcome.
absolutely.
Cool.
Just let me know.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean,
All right.
yeah.
Cool. Thank you,
All
Kit.
right.
Cheers, man. I see that coffee cup clink.
Cheers, Richie.
I never. Oh yeah, okay. I was doing my transition already. I never drink Starbucks, but it's hitting pretty nicely today. I think I'm a little more hyper than usual. So I guess I've been making weak coffee this whole time. Damn. The reason why I got this, I was actually out buying a new poetry release that came out Tuesday on Valentine's Day. Jose Olivares' Promises of Gold. I was so excited for this. Like, I've been excited for musicians to drop albums. Like, I was talking about it with my students. This is a really great collection that he wrote like during the pandemic, and it's bilingual. And you can actually flip the book. So one side is in English, Promises of Gold, and you flip it. The reverse of the book is in Spanish,
Oh, that's
and you read it
brilliant.
that way. And it's
Man,
that's pretty cool
there
stuff.
should be more and more stuff like that.
I love it, and so it works so well. Yeah, definitely recommend it, guys. I'm gonna look for some cover poems to read from it tonight. But he's gonna come to El Paso and read. So I wanted to get a little bit of a head start and read those pieces. If you're not familiar with Jose Olivares, dope poet out of Chicago. But we'll talk about that more. But yeah, that's why I was like kind of excited to share the book. Isn't it fun to get excited about like a book release, like a poetry collection release? Well, yeah. So shout out to Jose. So sorry. We're gonna go ahead and move along and go to Wonder Lake, Illinois, and we're gonna catch some hella noise from our next performer. That's right, it is Nico Kim in the house. Nico, what's up, man? How you
y'all.
doing?
Was good. All right. So I didn't know what, like, I had 2 sets prepared for tonight. I didn't know which way to go. Mr. Sindler commented on a poem on my Facebook. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll go with that. So this is like, I guess in context of like being like Valentine's Day and all that. But anyway, I guess that's some context. Whatever. All right. Mournful Mondays. Why is the moon so dreary? Oh, you know what? I fucked everything up. What's up, guys? What's up? I'm Nico, and I got a couple poems for you tonight. And I'm gonna start off with I don't know if you guys seen the movie, but it's like one of the cutest love scenes in my opinion, and that's in oh god. Oh my goodness, George Bailey. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. And so George Bailey and then his future wife are like walking together and they're singing the song, Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight and dance to the light of the moon? Anyway, so all of that just to do. Mournful Mondays. Why is the moon so dreary? Morning buffalo gals dancing. Manic, I move to mesmerize myself, mounting mop crops and cover-ups, cover girls who hate cigarettes, misty stepping myself away from regret. And yet, justice is served on Tears Day. Intentionally, I write this without the use of company ink. I'm something of a sink, no swimming summertime diver, jumping from a higher point than every past attempt. Every last attempt I make has me wishing I wasn't so good at downward plummeting. I've tried dummying it down, but the only one left dumb is my own damn self. So for your own health, as I'm sure you've already surmised, it's best not to walk with me in this hell, as I'm already compromised by standards unhung. I will continuously fall short. Any retort, though welcomed, will have me resort to further self-deprecation and avoiding any form of appreciation for myself, because the only thing that makes me enjoyable were given to me. Nothing I've done while living so free has been a creation of my own devices. So suffice it to say, I'm priceless in only one way, and that is I hold no value for myself in this capitalist society. My animalistic notoriety keeps me reaching for anything other than some normal form of sobriety. Excuse me while I stay stuck in the sky screaming. That loud, and gas keeps me laid out on my ass as if Maenads will one day worship my being. My bad, it's even worse. My habits keep me cursing till my face turns red. And the last I checked, I was placed under the impression it's not a good look. So I gotta pull up the other. Oh, Sue. Okay. I think scary's awesome. I feel sprouting cherry blossoms often pop off in a way akin to fireworks. I no longer enjoy circuits connected and destroyed, like boys annoyed with their toys due to their lack of newness. I've stewed on this and sat on my hands, afraid they would help raise my foot into my mouth, because undoubtedly the dumb rowdy me will have some tendency to show itself from time to time. And I'm under the impression some half-assed rhyming line wouldn't be sufficient to make up for shitty rhetoric. I can't say it's apathetic, though I am a pathetic representative of many empathetic aesthetics. I regret my egocentric ways, especially on days like today, because I don't want to scare anyone away. It's just, I think scary's awesome. Happy Valentine's Day. I woke from dreaming about her, so I woke up thinking about her. She would drink at bars to forget about her kinks and scars. The shrinking stars were streaking away in the so frustrating. How are you guys doing tonight? I'm gonna just take a quick relax because that was frustrating. I woke from dreaming about her, so I woke up thinking about her. She would drink at bars to forget about her kinks and scars. The shrinking stars were streaking, but she wasn't looking up at the night sky. Denied righteous justice, high chairs and chins and ears couldn't find the time of day to give her some say, so she has a way with deflection. I dare not say it's rejection, but the ejection button on her heart has been hit too many times to count, and any amount of rhetorical bullshit couldn't get a man inside of her heart. Smart and deadly, she plays the melody of misfortune, living a tortured existence, but beams light. Regardless of shooting stars she's missed. As she walks across the room, the heavens envy the foundation that bears her shine. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, no, that was awesome, man. We get in our heads worse than we actually think it is, man. So you killed it. You killed it, Nico. You got anything that you want to promote right now?
No, I'm currently working on a poetry book with Redding Green with the new what does she call it? The Baker's Dozen. So
all right,
when that gets published, I'm definitely getting on the mic more because I'm figuring out what poems sound good, so
yeah, man, that's definitely one of the points of it. All right, test it out, hear yourself. Dig it, man. Thanks for making it as always, Nico.
Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah. Alrighty then. I don't know, I was like waving over here.
The nice thing about doing that here too is because of the fact that it's recorded on YouTube, you can go back and listen to yourself. You don't have to just deal with how you felt you did in the moment. You can actually go check it back out later. And you can check out other people's stuff.
Always the best part. We have plenty of replays. You know what makes it really easy to watch the replay? Thanks to Kit Ren. He goes back every week and adds timestamps. So check those out in the comments. You can go back and even archive. I would recommend this. Maybe have a spreadsheet and archive all your performances with like timestamps and stuff. Yeah, but we're there on YouTube. All the past performances are all there. Alrighty then. We're gonna go ahead and go from Wonder Lake to San Diego. And our next performer, we're actually planning a little something for his tour. You know, he's planning another tour, does some traveling. Now, right now he's doing some teaching in San Diego. But it'd be really great to meet him, see him and perform in person. Right now we're gonna visit him via Zoomland. And let's go ahead and welcome Propaganda Poet to the mic. What's up, man?
What's going on, y'all? It's awesome to see you. Awesome to. Sorry, I don't make it here that often. Lots going on, but I'm gonna make it up to y'all by coming out there in person. So hopefully we can do that. We're looking at the last week of March for all y'all, anyone who's paying attention or marking your calendars. So I wasn't sure what I was going to read tonight. I wasn't actually even sure if I was going to read tonight. But Michael Sindler got me all thinking about President's Day and Black History Month. So I'm going to read some things out of my book. Promoting Patriotic Education, an actual GOP quote from the 1776 Commission. Manifest Destiny, the white privilege OG, privatizing freedom since 1843, financing it with white pride, genocide, and slavery, amassing a fortune that still feeds the festering GOP, or, maybe we should call it what it is, the new Confederacy. You see, they're commissioning 1776 just so they can get yet another fix. They still want us turning their tricks because every pimp needs their hose. In their bizarre reality, they normalize insanity while selling out humanity just to afford their own status quos. You see, white privilege is Western civ, required curriculum, while everyone else is just an elected. And I wrote this one in between. I wrote this one after Election Day and before the Insurrection Day. This one is called Wake Up Call. Blue horizons are just the beginning. Blue may have won the day, but America is still lost. The cost of living... technical difficulties. Okay. Blue may have won the day, but America is still lost. The cost of living is making a killing. Rampant racism races through our veins as the stains of red rain still flood the marginalized masses. True equality is being pushed to the back of this bipartisan party bus, but ain't nobody going to be able to stop us if we actually learn how to work together. This classism shit has got to go. This victory is hollow if this is all we have to show for it. If we are truly going to rise, then we have to be wise enough to recognize that we have to rise above this entire white privilege mess. And I must confess that I'm still a bit worried that if we hurry through this need to declare victory prematurely, then we're surely just in for more. Red stains are still raining, shame in many places and fear on many faces. If we truly are going to recover, then we need to actually rediscover each other. We must not let freedom allow us to become numb. Otherwise, we are merely free to be dumb. Now, I mean it sincerely when I say, by all means, let us enjoy this celebration day. But our true victory is still quite a ways away. There have been many presidents in our history that didn't actually get elected. This is one of them. This is called Trumped Up Truths. Alternative facts are nothing new. Welcome to a trampled America, made great by hate and divided by zeros, where bullies are made heroes who corral in all the pawns. We're frightened into survival mode, fighting amongst ourselves, the future foreboding hell, so we can't even tell that we're just selling our own souls, while they pilfer our shelves for themselves, but we should not be surprised. We should not be surprised to see the demise of a time when science was denied, while millions died and despotic leaders continued to hide behind religious rites to frighten and incite people into attempted homicides, while others just sat on the sidelines of this great white lie, finding safety in numbers and spectating from the shadows, watching it all just gain its wings and fly. It was called the Dark Ages for a reason. And it didn't actually fucking work. So it's best now time that we get to work, because we're officially on the clock of this shit just got real time. So let's step it up, my artistic and artistic community. Ergo and thusly, Renaissance, shall we? And it's kind of, I hope we're doing that, because we really need to be on our game right now. There are some other things going on. I'm just that kind of topical writer. There's, for those of you who don't know, there Paul Corman. Why am I forgetting his other? He has two last names. I can't remember. I'm forgetting his other name. He does a monthly writing workshop called Muse at 11. Roberts. Thank you, Paul Corman Roberts. He does a monthly writing workshop called Muse at 11, where you write some poems from the headlines. So these are a couple of those poems. He is, by the way, featuring tomorrow night, double featuring with Mr. Tezazomak, for anyone who may not know. So tomorrow evening, and I'm sure when Tez comes on, he'll remind us of that, because he forgot to do that at New York. But so yeah, tomorrow night, Paul and Tez are featuring, and these two poems came from Paul's workshop. So, and I'm gonna make it Tumblewords one of these days. Saturdays is hard. I'm sorry, Saturdays are hard, but I will make it one of these days. From pipestone to pipeline. Many lifetimes ago, the smoke flowed upwards. Sky collected futures. Now the smoke signals mirrors. I gotta get closer to the screen. Sorry. Now the smoke signals mirrors, shining attention away from the firestorms burning in Barron's bank accounts, accounting for the sky falling, acid rains, scorched earth drinking in main lines of black fossil fire, firing express rails to hell on native earth, giving birth to death in slow, tumorous growths, growing pain and suffering, while meth haze grazes through the youth, desecrating the truth. Many lifetimes ago, the smoke flowed upwards. Sky collected futures. And just what, pray tell, are you going to do with yours? And then this is the last one I'm going to do. This one's called Getaway. Everyone has their own rebellion. I agree with Cassian Andor. And my baggage is on vacation. I left it on the side of the road as I rode off into the sunset. I left the storm chasing me, tracking all the tragedy while I set off to become the narrator of my own story. But the story kept trying to write itself. No matter what plot lines I was being shown, my baggage was flown, spiraling off on its own to an entirely different planet. I was trying to rise once again, but I guess I was just too close to the sun for anyone to see the shadows still residing within me. My baggage is on vacation with no true destination, just riding all the sideshow attractions, trying to get a reaction, just trying to leave all of my satisfaction dismantled, like fractals sparking along the starry skies, questioning why I left the vacuum of all this space, gravitate all my grace into yet another ravenous black hole. My baggage is on vacation, getting stolen like vibrations emanating from joyful libations, being transported like dark star revelations, orchestrating chaotic revelations, trying to make all of my frustrations the center of my universe. But I will not rehearse in reverse. Moving forward is not a curse. So someone call a hearse, because I'm going to recall my baggage from its vacation without hesitation, so I can finally write a eulogy for all of this darkness inside of me as a reminder to love defiantly, even the darkest parts of my memories, and include them all as necessity, parts of me, and maybe rewrite my brain's chemistry so that maybe instead of just narrating, I can actually become the author of my own story. Thank you all very much for listening. Thank you all for being who you are. And I love y'all's poetry. I love being able to sit here and listen to poetry. I don't get online much that often because I got so much going on in person now. But hopefully in March, we'll do something about that. Peace, love, and poetry, y'all.
Right on, man. Thanks for taking the time to join us today, and we will continue that conversation for sure. I have 2 of those 3 proposed days already booked, so those are good. We'll just get on those promos and then figure out that one a day. And if we can't do a show, maybe like a recording session or something, we'll talk about it. Anyway, yeah, stay tuned for that. More on the way. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna go ahead and keep going because we got some people left. Want to make sure everyone has their time to get on at a reasonable hour. And so our next performer, under his bow, he always writes, "Yeah, you know me." Joining us from D.C., Washington, that is man of many, many, many rhymes. Let's go ahead and welcome the one, the only, fantastic Mr. Poetastic, Ed. What's up, Ed Poetastic? Hey, man.
What's up, my brother? Woo!
Yo.
I rhyme all the time to make people feel sublime. Woo! Thank God, I love your chime. All right. I don't want to take too much time. All right, my name is Ed Poetastic, or feeling fantastic. Please get in touch. I'm just gonna draw my rhyme off of sublime. I got jokes for you folks. I got 6. What do you call a corn sunbathing? Popcorn. Why couldn't the fish wear jeans? He had sailor legs. What did the Joey said to do in his house? Rub your feet first and come one at a time. What did the bunny brought his wife? 25 carrots and a ring. Why did a man call the cops on a group of crows? He saw a murder going on. Last but not least, what did the cow say to the ice cream man? Shh, don't tell anyone. May I have 2 scoops of chocolate meat, please? All right, I got 3 poems. First one is called Black Hole. I want to devour everything, including you. Would you like to be one of my abyss? Would you like to be one of my inner stew? Would you come quietly, or are you going to resist? I want to swallow you up, skin and bones and all. The earth jumps and thumps. My hunger just crunch, swallows, and mauls. I'm bottomless pit. Everything tastes like metal and sand. I just consume by bit, by bit, by bit. I desire I can't bear or understand. I eat and eat, yet I'm not full. Everything just vanishes in my sight. This hollow misery is cruel. The jaws of starvation that bite firmly tight. I'm a shark with razor sharp teeth. I indulge everything, even your blood and marrow. My cravings never accept defeat. It just grows and grows, then I rampage tomorrow. I try to feed myself of madness. I just can't cease or stop. My stomach is a bliss of darkness. My stomach is a bliss of darkness. My other senses went completely pop. Do I ever have a heart? I swallowed up a long time ago. My only complaint is it was so tart. My tears showers and echoes. I completely indulge, yet it doesn't make me happy. It's just a hopeless, vast pastime. Sorry to sound sappy, but it's really crappy. Sweet fulfillment can never ever be mine. I wonder will this craving reach a frigid end? Will my eternal feeding go on? Gluttony is an addiction I can't comprehend. It's an empty curse I wish nobody would stumble upon. Thank you. All right, I got this other one. This is called Passing Fancy. It was a hot summer. You was a radiant flower. I was a young gunner. You had this power. I was struck by thunder. We talked for hours and hours. You laughed at my blunders. The next day, the events just towers. My depression just slumbers. Our days were sweet and never sour. We danced, our feet never shunter. My shadows always cower. You was my gazelle and I was the hunter. The days were more vibrant and hotter. I felt stronger, better, and younger. My blackened attitude changed to flower. My regrets and worries buried under. I, the hero. You, my superpower. No ember of hope from the showers. Our days started to get packed and buffer. You started giving me number after number after number. My heart quickly clumper, dumper, and shudder. The carefree memories of us, I hunger. My days started to clutter, splinter, and shudder. I hope I didn't get dumber by being a sucker. My body feels like worn out rubber. My tears overflow like melted salty butter. What happened to you? My mind carries the wonders. Thank you. One more for an encore of Evermore. This is called The Galaxy of Love. I want to release our illuminating love to the far reaches of space, like the sun. It'll leave the whole wide world instantly stunned. Your lips taste so sweet. Your lips taste so heavily like the vast Milky Way, while I taste your pink celestial road on each and every dark day. The remnants of our love are the flickering, glittering stars to teleport us to different planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, and Mars. Your essence outshine my most empty, blackest holes, while my cosmic heart instantly implodes. Our passionate tears are the sparkling northern lights, and it reminds me that I'm always out of sight. The meters are lyrics that I sing to you, my shooting star, while I get lost to you here, near, or far. Your imagination is deeper than our epic cosmic sea, while you're being my personal embodiment of my stellar fantasy. The 7 rings I give to you brighten our darkest nights that will cast away our pitch black frights. My feelings for you are vivid, luminous, and colorful as the quasar lights, which can fuel a rocket to newer heights. The shooting comet is our laughter to the funny jokes, but sometimes Haley Comet says a whimsical notes. The sun is our beacon of blazing crimson romantic fun, while the Big Bang represents our hearts fusing to one. To you, my solar system, I love you to infinity and beyond. Let's create a new, better, and luminous dawn. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Shout out to Better Luminous Dons and Potastic. Hey, you know what I always ask, man? How can people find you online and support your work? Ed.
You can find me at this wonderful mic that makes our wonderful Monday night says delight in the wonderful musical or Potastic Spotlight. And you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman and my IG is Eddie from 92. And remember, if the mic's right, I'll be there to shine Potastic insight. If you send me a question, we take a guess. The answer is yes. Hope everyone stay safe, positive, and blessed. Never stop spewing or singing the wonderful words outside your chest, and never stop feeling and being and doing your best.
I have a question to ask him, Richie. Is 92 the year you were born, Eddie?
Yep.
Oh, you're a child.
Child, but hope I hope my age lasts for a while.
I think it'll follow you around for as much as it can. Thank you, Ed.
That would make you the man.
Right. Yeah, dude, you are young. I'm not gonna say how old I am, but anyway, transition, or as Kate likes to say it, mumble, transition. We're gonna go ahead and go back to the West Coast and tune in with Tanish, San Francisco. Let's see, Tanish, you here with us? I want to make sure I got double. Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, how you doing? Happy Monday.
And happy Monday to you.
Cool.
Thanks for having me back. I'm gonna do some stuff that's sort of piecemeal. If you were at the New Year today, you might have heard some of these, but I'm gonna do a little bit longer set. So, yeah. In the beginning was the word, they say, but it's been distorted to mask depraved actions. Speech itself becoming a depraved action. holy made unholy, knowledge replacing belief. Of all the brothers Karamazov, I'm most like Alyosha. Moving in love, it is not my job to judge, but I do. And I think it's a free mind that can do it justice. A poet, a very white presenting lady, featured at an open mic and used her 10 minutes of fame to say the N-word hard R. And the rest of her set was shocking as well, was high in shock value. And I waited a few poems before shutting Zoom down. I'm sitting in a bar hoping to God, hoping non-Blacks are not trying to make this word okay, make this word great again. I could use this poem as a hit piece and ponder out loud into the ether, the universe, about how far back her family goes on Turtle Island. If they owned slaves, how many genocided natives held the Chinese hostage, while how many genocided natives held the Chinese hostage while forcing them to build the railroads. But the real wonder would lie in whether she does know and healed herself of the generational trauma of dehumanizing themselves, thinking them superior to human, thinking non-whites inferior. The reality is nothing done, no words spoken, purely and solely for shock value, are ever worth being said or done. And then that just got me on another same stuff. Teasing apart centuries of oppression from a people who are a vanguard of creation. It only makes sense if you focus on the evil of whiteness, white supremacy, the vanguard of evil, of inhumanity, hierarchy, sitting pretty behind whips while taking and faking, never giving. It isn't, no. Or receiving, but take and steal. It only makes sense to zero in on that hate with love, protecting you from it while also revealing what it is by way of what it's not. And I think of my sister, how it would never have helped me to beg for my freedom. Her always with the retort and negation, her involuntary reflex against accountability, how my self-love, how my finding comfort in her inability to change helped me stop wanting to know what her stilted mind wondered, the static of her mental state. No begging, done asking, I take my liberation. And then I move into some other nice, kind, sweeter moments, I guess. This day of dreams drifts through the wind, free from dread, waiting to be something wild like this poem. Within the world, explosions of ink to drink from, our freedom honoring the page, but our bones tingle, talking with the spirits far beyond the pain, beyond the dead. Deja vu. When we sleep, the night nourishes our nerves, never forgets our terror, massages our minds, if we let it, with lavender lacing our neurons, an aroma so fleeting, can't remember while awake amid acrid egos, until the air pricks your brainstem through the nostrils, jolting your head up, and consumes your nose with that sweet floral scent, seemingly from nowhere. Memories like whiplash, seeing into your REM life. You sigh, sated. Nightmares linger like unwanted guests, like ghosts swarming the rooms of your mind. You haven't stepped in for centuries of past lives and what you came here for. I tackle my shadows elusive. I lure and trap them in a jar I massaged from clay, a ceramic urn for our sins, a reminder that we are not more than our actions, our thoughts, but every day we can be better than our dragons. Breathe water onto the fire. I have 2 more. I think just 2. Yeah. Reflexes forging new paths for the stars bursting across my mind's sky. After Chile, I stopped caring for myself. Overworked, undervalued, underpaid, a stale tale of capitalist competition. Years of this plus familial manipulation disintegrates a person, wears down their spirit. I was accustomed to clinging to dangerous relationships. I tried to find family in strangers beside me who left me, who I left betrayed. There was loyalty twinkling in people's smiles along the way, their words coated in soothing lavender, but I was in a parallel world consumed by pain. In its belly, I couldn't see good people, rather choosing only to see good in bad people. Their bellicose scream I mistook for cries of help, hugging their shadows for dear, dear life, trying to light the way with betrayal. It isn't enough to think something. You must feel it too, and not force the feeling from your mind to your torso. Rather let the body rejoice in believing the thoughts of love a reflex, new of lovely surrender to karma, to karmic liberation, to happiness. And the last one, failing to try is failing. Some flowers sprout years after the plant, when sheets of rain for weeks let these little guys peek out, and you don't notice until it's sunny. But the ground's still wet, wet against your soles, droplets tickling your toes. This is the moment. You can either water and water in the absence of the sky's cries. Heed the hummingbird who scolded you twice for not having any flowers to offer, or hint you shouldn't do this one. Let it go back to the old watering pattern. Bye, flowers. Sorry, hummingbirds. You still have your plants, though. You just don't let them bloom. My heart hurts for the me no one wanted to see succeed. If I think of the flowers as little me's, I can't neglect them. It just means I need to accept the responsibility of caring for a delicate thing that makes the hummingbirds happy and keeps them coming back. I've done enough inner child work that I can at least try. The end.
That's a great ending.
That's great.
The end. Se acabó.
Awesome.
You can find me at tanishkantos.com. I'll put that in the chat. Thank you.
Right on. Great poems for sure.
Yes.
Aplauso. Aplauso.
Good job.
Thank you, Tanish. Yeah, I think that's the longest you've read for a while too, and I appreciate it, like for real.
Really?
No. I see. I almost didn't want to say that because I didn't want you to take it the wrong way, but it was great having you. And hearing those pieces because they were good.
They were heavy, yeah.
And you took your time with them, and I think that's important. Anyway, yes, we'll share that link. Anything else before you want to promote before we move on?
No, nothing really. I have a book that's coming out, but it's still too early to say, but it'll be like May. And I don't think that the people I'm working with are ready to announce it either. So
Fair enough.
I
Alrighty
think in
then.
the future I will have something.
Well, that's good. We have something that will eventually take shape, and we can look forward to talking about more in the future. Thank you. Oh, awesome. The website. That's legit. TanishContos.com. All right. I'll forward that. Everyone on YouTube, what is going on? We have some more performers, so sit tight. In fact, we're actually going to go to India, and our next performer is the Unruly Poetaster on Insta and the Fertile Brains Poetry Community on WhatsApp and Facebook. There's also a website, thefertilebrains.com. Once again, joining us from India, and help me with your name, Prasanna Kumar. Hey,
Perfect.
what's going on? Hey, welcome.
Welcome, Eds. Thanks, Richie. Thanks for having me after a long gap. Yeah. And thank you, Finn. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, my poem, maybe a short piece. Truly, truly a short piece. Truly, I had no idea what's it like to be having loved or to love somebody. I truly had no idea what's the Jafar of Amor that touches the cheeks and takes me to the wonderland. I truly had no idea what's it like to have a conversation with stars and skies. I truly had no idea what it's like to have walk across the seashores. I truly had no idea what it's like to have a flying kiss and lingering sensation that leaves behind. I truly had no idea what it's like to have words of poetry on romance. I truly had no idea what it's like to have a touch of ripples passing through the passing waters. I truly had no idea what it's like to have to sit under buff and take the scent of efflorescence. I truly had no idea until you stepped into my life. Thank you, Richie. And that's the end of my piece.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you have your links. Do you want to share any links? We can head to our
Yes,
peeps.
definitely. And every Sunday, it would be great if you all I could make it on Sunday, Indian Standard Time, 7 p.m. We are having an open mic every Sunday. From on Facebook, it goes on Facebook Live. So the link I'll post, and it's Zoom link is there in it. And I'll be sharing some of the links. You can follow on there. So thank you, Richie, and thanks. Finn for supporting me and encouraging me all as always.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's such a great supporter, and again, just so many thanks. You know what? As soon as we just meeting you, but as soon as you start mentioning all those names, like I feel comfortable. I'm like, okay, awesome. It's good to have you in the space. So thank you, Prasanna. Good to have you here. I will share those links to our peeps on YouTube, and we're gonna go from India to LA, Los Angeles, and welcome our awesome Chicano poet who comes in and usually closes it out with some music and some poetry. He's got some work out. And as always, let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, Teso Somok. Yo.
Yo, Mr. Richie. I know you got to turn off your mic, so sorry. Can you share screen? Let me share screen. All right, can folks see my piece?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so this is I've gotten some concerns about this piece. I want to project it so folks can follow. I read it really fast earlier, so I want to make sure there's no confusion about what I'm trying to say. The specter of the fetish of difference. And this takes, well, let's read it and then we'll see. Uncle Sam peeks in Betsy Ross's room as if to catch a secret glance, for he's the only one who must assume a watchful eye and give her a chance. The stars and stripes that Betsy sews are symbols of a nation's pride, and Uncle Sam wants to ensure that Betsy's work is not denied. The flag she makes will fly above, forever in the open sky, but her work, like that of true love, will never be denied or die. Uncle Sam looks to Betsy's work and knows that all her dreams will soar, for Betsy's flag will never shirk from standing tall and proud evermore. The fear that drives his fetish to his shame is learned from Betsy's difference, unembraced. This logic built upon its source the same, a moment of his formative life erased. The sight of her genitalia, Freud said, triggers deep-seated dread of self-same fate. Its terror like a nightmare in his head, a horror of a mirror image too late. His desire, a twisted attempt to cope, is born of fear, a logic built on dread, to search for pleasure so he cannot hope, but merely hope to stave off fear instead. His fetish then, a product of his fear, a twisted bond, the bond of shame, not love so dear. Anxiety of power and control, Uncle Sam's fear is in view. The missing penis Betsy's lacks replaced with something near and true. A fetish object like light takes its place. A Mexican, a native too, Asian, land grabs, a suitable sub, each a paradox anew. This mechanism serves to explain the same opposite entwine, an attempt to master difference out of fear of power decline. The fetish points to a control, a desire to tame and bind, an anxiety of control. Uncle Sam's fear, we must remind. That Betsy's lack must be filled with a suitable sub in sight, a fetish object to replace, control, and master the plight. Uncle Sam's fear can't be tamed with a suitable sub inside to sublimate the anxiety of control with all its might. The fetish of difference that rises up, a specter of a future unknown to us, a fear of likeness, a fear of what's enough, that drives us to create a fearful fuss. We focus on the difference and not the ways that bring us closer, finding peace, the ways to make our world a better spot, rejecting those who think that's not released. The fetish of difference can be a curse, creating bonds that make us so unequal. It's something we can all reverse, of course, by seeing our similarities prevail. It's time to break the chains of this fetish and start to celebrate our common thread. A people's plight that oft forgotten, condemned to racial rift and token, enslaved to serve their master's will, the Mexican Americans still, with taint of brown skin ever present, and burden of shame so persistent they attempt to pass for white, yet never quite. The truth of them lies in their plight. Their king in servitude remains suppressed, forgotten without gain. The past for them holds only shame, eschewed by those who bear their name. A struggle twixt two worlds entwined, resisting one, the other resigned. No proper haven left to hide for Mexican Americans to abide. Caught between two worlds, no longer claim, neither one side nor the other is the same. The colors we paint our lives come in shades of both, leaving us stuck in a numbing maze. We struggle in the grayness of our days, the strife of being neither here nor there. The path we take is not one of our own, but of course of being nowhere close to home. The limbo of our lives we must embrace, no matter how hard, it's our only fate. The challenge that this brings can't be denied, but in the end, we must accept our side. The only way to survive this plight is to learn to love our in-between life. The Oedipal tale has many blind spots unseen, where hidden forces drive desires so unclean, for scarcely understood is sexual divide that leaves us to a paradox so wide. The scandal of desire is ever true, and race plays a part in what we do, though not in those ways that we can be seen. Its mysteries in the dark have been. The Oedipal narrative has many flaws, and hidden secrets in the shadows pause. For racial fetishism plays a part in this story that's been told from the start. The blind spots of the Oedipal tale are more numerous than first we thought prevail, for scandalous desires are energized by hidden depths of racial guise. The specter of the fetish of difference is something that we must not ignore. It binds us to a woeful consequence that we must learn to ignore no more. For centuries we have lived in ignorance of the truth of difference plight. It's time to recognize the difference and bring a new hope to the light. We must take steps that are needed to free ourselves from this curse, to be united. Our sight must be steady and see the truth that's in our verse. The fetish of difference must be seen for its specter to be put to rest. Let us take a stand and not be mean and bring equality to the test. Oka, boka, soda, croca, oka, boka, boo. In comes Uncle Sam and out goes you. The games we play seem so unfair. They take us in and then they tear. Our childish laughter, it can't last, for Uncle Sam shall take the past. Our innocence, it must be sold for the price of silver and of gold. But just remember this is true. Our childhood days will always be here too. Though Uncle Sam may take away, our memories will always stay. And this is partly inspired by the continuous work of Mr. Sindler, continues to inspire us to use form. This is a piece in eight sonnets. So thank you for the continued inspiration of your commitment to the form. Thank you. All right, so I am going to jump into a song now. I have a piece of music I gotta pop up. Okay, here we go. On the turning away from the pale and untrodden, and the words they say, which we don't understand, don't accept what's happening. It's just a case of others suffering, or you'll find you're joining the turning away. It's the sin that somehow light is changing to shadow and casting a shroud ranks have grown, driven on by the heart of stone. We could find that we're all alone in the dream of the proud. On the wings of the night, as the daytime is stirring, where the speechless unite in a silent accord, using words you will find are strange and mesmerizes the light, the flame. Feel the wind of change on the wings of the night. No more turning away from the weak and the weary. No more turning away from the coldness inside. Just the world that we all must share. It's not enough to stand and stare. It is only a dream that's be no more turning away.
Awesome, man.
It's
Awesome,
not
awesome.
perfect, but I'm sure Kit will appreciate it. I deconstructed that for him.
What is
You're a great guitarist, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I dig it. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that first one. I had to like run out for a different reason, but appreciate it coming out, man. How can people watching right now? Because I know we see there's some first time viewers actually on YouTube. How can they
Sure,
see more of your work and just find you online?
So folks can pick up a copy of my books on Amazon. Just search for my name and I'm Not Your Chihuahua. Also, I will be. I have a feature tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Time to Arrive mic with Dane Inns. Please come join us. And I can see all of Dan's molars, and I'm excited about that. And so, folks, again, that's the interesting work that's going on, trying out different styles, different forms, and again, trying to work on the mastery of these elements. Thank you.
Right on, and thank you. Like I said, we do have the replay, so you guys can go back and hit that up. I want to give a shout out to Virtuoso X. I think that's Alonso. Thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, we've had all sorts of poets joining us, not just from El Paso, but as you can see, from all over the place. So I think you're still based out of El Paso, right? Yeah, let me know in the live chat. Good to see you here. We're going to go ahead and keep going. Speaking of El Paso, we are going to come back to El Paso, and as we often do, actually, I'm going to read some poems from Promises of Gold. Just two quick ones to end the night. But before we get there, I'm going to go ahead and bring out our closer, like I said, as we often do, to share some pieces. We're going to set the timer. See how you do. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage the one, the only, Dan the Man. Take it away. Yo.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Yep. Happy Mardi. Yep. Tomorrow, Fat Tuesday. Yep. And who's, I don't know, anybody? Oh, thank you. I can earn that old. Yeah, I know that. Oh well. Well, since tomorrow's Mardi Gras, but I'm gonna do. Let me see if I could do let's see if I could do a quick a freestyling for Mardi Gras. Click. Okay. I miss that. Okay. Speaking of beads, yeah, why do we? Yeah, it's like if you're in New Orleans, you're gonna smoke some weed. Yep, something you don't agree, but you plead. Yeah, but even though it's a party to lead, but we had something in great heed. Yep, don't you disagree? Or maybe you can agree to the tumbleweeds at even if it's a crowd of stampede, just like in New Orleans, you don't speed. Yeah, so just yeah, at all the parties, you can mislead, but there's always the signs to read. Yep. Who wants a bead? Don't even think about the need to things. Yep. All right. And okay, I'm gonna since I think I'm gonna read a couple of words of love, piropos, the word saying from Mexico. Well, which I'm not gonna be able to finish the read throughout since I didn't finish that one. But so I'm gonna read a couple of more. So just give me a minute. Okay. Atrancante bandolón, ahora que tiene tocada. Strum away, mandolin, now that you've got something to celebrate. Nice. Okay. Árbol viejo, ni te olvido, ni te dejo. Old love, I can neither leave you nor forget you. Odd. Armandoños, tú y yo, que revienten los mirones. We're in love, Let the onlookers eat their hearts out. Oh, yikes. Okay. Abre, niña, los ojos y caballos en mi arma, que con esa miranda tendré y karma. Ya karma, sorry. Open your eyes and sink them in my soul. In your gaze, I shall find peace untold. Okay. All right, let me do one more. La flor de la hermosura como la flor de mayo dura. The flower of beauty fades away and swiftly as blooms of May. Okay, I'll stop right there. Yeah, piropos, words of love, romantic sayings, Spanish for Mexico. Okay, well, I wish I was there last Friday for the tribute to Donna, but unfortunately, I was due for a wedding, but it was beautiful. Yeah, so I hope it was a beautiful tribute to Donna. So I'm gonna check out the footage on YouTube, see if it's already been uploaded. But once it's uploaded, I'll check it out. So okay, well, well, God rest her soul. Founder of Tumblewords. There's no need to be heard of all things as things in the world. Yep, and all the words that are in the world that still needs to be heard. And always okay. All right, guys. Well, guys.
All right.
Okay, here it is. Read it and weep it. I'm still behind posts on Twitter and Facebook, but I'm catching up on Instagram. And still, I'm heavily behind schedule on my blog. So most importantly, find Animance Weekly on YouTube. So, but I'm finishing up the Valentine's Day from last Tuesday. I do apologize. I'm gonna film the Mardi Gras later tomorrow. So, oops, hold on.
Yeah,
we lost you.
Yeah, your sound went away. That's weird. But we can at least see your cool hat. That does it.
Thank you. Can you still hear me now?
Yeah, now we hear you.
Okay.
Kind of weird, but we hear you. Yeah, that sounds kind of weird buzz, man. You got something going on with headphone or something? Yeah, there's something weird going on with your sound.
Oh man, it can't be right.
Also, your smoke alarm needs new batteries.
Yeah, you go.
Okay. All right, guys. Yeah. Ash Wednesday, and yeah, and I hope to see you guys next Monday for yeah. All right. So, all right, guys. Okay, Richie, let's go.
It's good, man. You cut out, but I knew exactly what you meant.
Yep.
And we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So thank you Dan the Man, for doing your thing and also for being efficient with your set. That's much, much, much appreciated. As I promised, I wanted to talk about this new book that came out, Promises of Gold, Promesas de Oro de Jose Olivares, son of Mexican immigrants. And this just dropped Valentine's Day, new release. Something that's really cool about it is that I mentioned earlier, if you flip it, so it's in English, read it in English, but you flip it over, it's in Spanish. And you read it the same way. You open it up and all the poems are translated to Spanish. So I found 2 poems. Oh, also, if you're not familiar, one of the reasons why I was really looking forward to this collection, I'll just kind of read a little bit of what he writes himself about it, and then the Jackie cover.
Just a question real quick.
Uh-huh.
Are they translated to Spanish or from Spanish?
To Spanish.
Okay, just check.
Yeah. He's writing out of Chicago, but he had actually, I mean, the translators credited pretty well in here. Okay. How many bad lovers have gone poems? How many crushes? No disrespect to romantic love. But what about our friends? Those homies who are there all along, cheering for us and reminding us that love is abundant. In this collection of poems, Jose Olivares explores every kind of love: self, brotherly, romantic, familial, cultural. I'm going to mute you, Dan, because I can hear you wrestling with your stuff there. All right. Cool. Grappling with the contradictions of the American dream with unflinching humanity, he lays bare the ways in which love is complicated by forces larger than our hearts. Some really great ones that I've read so far, but I just want to read 2. I just got it today, so this one's called Inspiration. The year's first cherry blossoms are just trying to catch some sun, and here you go, poet, making grand proclamations about the cycle of life, saying some wild, corny mess like, nature is healing. Nature took a mental health day just like you. Winter is long, and humans aren't the only creatures that suffer from loneliness. All right, and this one's called Ojalá. I hate heartbreak. And yet, I'll never forget the day after a breakup, when the city came alive with ways to harm myself, trains and buses and windows, suddenly dangerous. I called my homie a few blocks away. They held my hand all the way to my apartment. Oh God, I praise this touch. Untranslatable, which is how I know it's holy. All right, very short pieces, but I freaking appreciate what he packs in there. There's a lot. I'll probably read, more cover poems from that in the future, but I want to thank everyone who tuned in at some point during the online mic. We're going to go ahead and we'll be back next Monday as always. If you want to be kept up to date and follow us, Barbed Wire Open Mic Series, on all of our social media, we'll post the links as soon as I can, usually the Saturday or Sunday before. But yeah, we'll see you next time. I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight for the live stream. As always, many of us will be hanging out in the Zoom room for as long as we want to, until people get tired. Sometimes we go kind of late. But it's all up to you. And also, if you're really shy and didn't want to read on the live stream, you can share poetry there or anything you're working on. We do have a poetry night tomorrow at Capri, lowbrow on Robinson, where Lowbrow Palace used to be. I'm hearing really great hype for it. I think we might have a pretty big list of readers and might get a little crowded. So we're going to start early. Sign up from 7 to 8. If you have any questions, just message us on Facebook. And other than that, we have an open mic on Thursday. There's all sorts of stuff going on, yo. Just follow us on social media and we'll post about it. Good night.